Hey guys, what's up? Nick here once again, and today's video is going to be a little bit different, I suppose, than my typical content on this channel. You guys will have to let me know in the comment section below if you want to see more stuff like this, where it's more down to earth, a lot less editing involved. I'm not doing tier lists or nothing. It's more just kind of giving advice or talking about things in my life. It was just some random gameplay in the background, so this is just some gameplay I recorded last night. Just for fun, chilling with some Twist Metal 4. This is the vanilla version, not the modded version. I just figured for the gameplay's sake I would have it more chill and relaxing. So today's video has actually been brought up upon me due to an email I received last night. I'm not going to put this guy on blast. I'm not going to say who they are, mainly because I'm not really mad at them. I'm more just kind of like confused. At the same time, I suppose it is a little irritating, and that's the whole reason for this video, and more to kind of go into the sense of what's it like to be a content creator in 2025, especially one trying to make it to the point where this could be my full-time career, and what to look out for if you yourself are a content creator and maybe trying to one day as well make this a full-time career. So I want to give some good pointers that have helped me along the way, and also just I've learned over the years from trial and error, and I really don't want people to go through the same problems I did. So if I can make it easier for other people, especially my friends who are also content creators, you know, I want to make this video for them. So anyway, the email that I received essentially was from somebody in this community. They're probably watching this video right now, and I kind of hope they do, because this video is kind of, you know, it's catered towards them. And they reached out to me in confidence through my business email. And I want to put this out there right now. Don't do this. Please don't copy what this person did, because it is frustrating. I'm not going to make a video every single time this happens. This is a one and done thing. But it's just don't do this, okay? Just please don't follow in this person's footsteps. So this guy emails my business email, which again is only for business related purposes. It's if somebody wants to sponsor the channel or work with me in some way, like a collab or whatever. But this person reached out to my business email because, I don't know, they essentially wanted me to give them tips and tricks on how to create a YouTube channel, because they themselves want to become a YouTuber. I know this might sound kind of harsh and maybe me just bitching because, oh, your fan of yours wants some help. Like, you know, screw you, Nick. Why are you being a dick about it? I'm not here to say, oh, screw this guy. I'm pissed at them. They should leave me alone. That's not the point of this video. I figured instead of just replying to this person, let's say I give them the benefit of the doubt. They wrote a lengthy email. I'm not going to show it, but it was a good like 3 paragraphs long. They obviously took some time to write it and to think about what they wanted to say in it. And essentially it boiled down to, again, they just wanted help with creating a new channel and what should they do as a brand new YouTuber to get views and to get support and all that stuff. If I gave them the benefit of the doubt and I just decided to reply to them and gave them everything they wanted, that's one thing. And I'll be honest, if this was 5 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, I would have done it. I probably would have been that guy to sit down and spend an hour of my own time for free, giving them free advice. Just because I felt like the fact that they took time out of their day to send an email to me with that much work involved in it, I figured I could do the same back to them. However, a lot of things have happened over the past few years that have gotten me to not just jump to that conclusion and do that thing. And on top of that, I'm not going to just straight up ignore this person. I'm not going to reply angrily. I'm not going to tell them to leave me alone. And that's why I'm making this video, because I figured it makes more sense to do a full video for multiple people to be able to get some advice and get some tips and tricks from me, and not just one dude out of the blue in an email. I think that makes a little bit more sense, don't you? So that's what this video is basically all about. I'm also going to give you some tips and tricks and kind of what not to do in terms of networking and being a little too friendly and stuff like that. So let's kind of get into my list that I have written down here. My first point here is that the main reason why things have changed in the past 5 to 10 years, and again, the reason why I didn't just reply to this guy in an email, is because I have been burned before. I have literally been used in this exact same fashion. I am a gullible pushover. I always have been. I've always been the guy that will just do whatever people need because I feel bad for them in that moment. And I genuinely believe in karma. So when somebody is coming up to me and they're asking for change, I genuinely feel bad saying no. Do I give change to every single person I see? No, of course not. But it is one of those situations where I don't think there's ever been a time when somebody's come up to me and asked me for help, and if I've denied it, I didn't feel bad. I always feel terrible. So in this situation, again, I felt bad for not wanting to reply to this email. And that's one reason, again, to make this video. But the times in the past that I've been burned in this exact situation is that one good example I can give is I had an old coworker that they worked with me, and I'm not going to say where we worked together because they might watch my content to this day. I don't know. I don't want them to think that I'm talking about them, even though I might be. That being said, we worked together for like 2 years. I kind of knew the guy, but I didn't really know the guy, if you know what I'm saying. We didn't really hang out outside of work other than a few parties that we were at the same party, I guess. Like he would host a party and invite a ton of people over. I went to his house, stuff like that. But it wasn't like we were friends. We didn't text. We didn't talk outside of work really at all. And one day he reaches out to me, I believe it was on Facebook, and he said, "Hey man, I see that you got a YouTube channel. You're doing pretty good, and I would like some help on setting up my own stuff. Could you come to my house and like set up my computer and set up my YouTube channel and basically do everything for him?" And now, obviously hearing this now, it's like a red flag, right? Like I don't really know this guy. We're just acquaintances at work. We're work friends, so to speak, but we don't hang out. Like I've never been to this guy's house other than just a 5-minute work party. Like I was there and I left after like 20 minutes. I wasn't there very long. So hearing this, thinking about it, you know, looking back, I definitely was a moron. And I will be the first to say I was stupid in doing this. But yeah, I decided to do it. I went over to their house. I literally put together their PC for them, helped them set up their YouTube channel, all this stuff. And after I did all that, they basically ghosted me. They didn't really talk to me much at work anymore. They didn't really talk to me through text or anything. You know, I tried to ask like, how's it going with the YouTube stuff? And I tried to help them, you know, I would comment on their videos and stuff like that, and nothing came from it. So that was like my first kind of, wow, that's kind of ridiculous. You know, I did all this work. I drove out of my way, 40 minutes, by the way, to get to this person's house and do all this stuff for them. And all I got was a thank you, and that was it. You know, I didn't like expect compensation from this. I didn't expect anything of that sort or a trade, but I just kind of expected to maybe have some of that support come back to me, if that makes sense. Like maybe him make a video saying thank you for me, and this is my friend Nick, and you know, just something. And that never came. And newsflash, he quit and gave up on content creation after like 2 weeks, which is also very common. So yeah, that was a really big bummer, and that was my first instance of that really happening. Same exact thing happened a couple years later. There was somebody that was in my community that seemed to come to my streams, and this is years prior to what I'm doing now. So this is back when I had like 5 active viewers in my streams on Twitch, and my viewership was a lot lower on my YouTube channel, all that stuff, right? But I had this person that was pretty active, and I considered them part of my community, and I always thought they were really nice. And they DM me on Twitter asking for the same thing, basically like, can you get in a voice call with me on Discord and help me set up my YouTube channel and help me set up my Twitch and all this stuff. And they even asked for like shout outs and stuff on Twitter. They were like, can you shout me out when I go live, blah, 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 blah. And you know, at that time I was like, that's a little much. So I told them like I would help you out in a voice call, but that's about it. You know, I'm not going to be shouting you out and stuff like that because I don't really know you. So I got on the call, and it probably was like 3 hours of my life that I spent helping them make their banner on YouTube and setting up their channel and all that stuff. And it turned out that they literally, after this was all done, it was about a day later, I went on Twitter and I noticed that they blocked me. And I don't know what happened. I didn't say anything bad to them. We ended the call, you know, on good terms, and they said thank you so much, and everything was good. But I found out that they blocked me because they just used me. I don't know why. I guess they just assumed like if they didn't do anything in return, I would get mad or something, or maybe ask for money down the road or something, which I wouldn't do. I don't know. It was really weird, and I know this kind of just sounds like I'm making this shit up, but I promise you this actually happened, and it hurt, right? It burned me. So it put up these walls. I've learned over the years to put up my walls and not just let people abuse me and use me for, I don't know, like, I don't feel I'm that creative. I don't feel I am that great, right? Like, I'm not a famous YouTuber. I'm not a famous streamer. So when people come to me, I just get really like butterflies. Like, I'm just like, wow, that's amazing that you thought of me, you know, to come to you for advice. So that's why I just kind of didn't think about the negatives of this, or that people could be just using me for my time. And what I've learned being 30 years old now is time is very valuable. And if you're not getting paid for that time or not getting something in return for your time, I'm sorry, it's not worth your time, all right? So that was, those two big catalysts that put up my walls. And that's why when I got this email, I immediately was like, nope, red flag, I'm not doing this. I'm not helping this guy. But I figured making this video made a lot more sense, and maybe it would help a lot of you guys as well, who are also maybe aspiring content creators, or you've been doing it for years and you feel like you're stuck in a rut. I don't know. So that leads me also to my next kind of point is like, if you yourself are a content creator, I'm going to give you some yeses and nos on what you should do for like getting your content out there and getting a community made and making new friends. So one thing is, don't, just for the love of God, don't be too friendly. I can't express this enough, and I know this is kind of hard to explain, and if you don't know anybody like this, you're probably going to be confused by this statement, but I'm just being honest here. Just don't be too friendly. I guess a good example of this is if you show up in someone's stream for the first time, you're a first-time chatter, you've never been there before, and the first thing you say is like, you just start complimenting. All you do is compliment, compliment, compliment. And then immediately after being there for 10 minutes and complimenting 10 times, you jump into, oh, I'm a content creator as well, and I love your stream, and I want people to, I would love for this community to be in my stream. That right there is the biggest red flag to anybody who's a streamer or a YouTuber. If you see anybody acting this way in your chat, you need to shut that down immediately. And the main reason for that is because these are the people that essentially are just trying to use you, like I gave examples before. And even if they're not, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're just socially awkward, and I get that, and that's totally understandable, and that's fair. But I'm sorry, if the first thing you do is jump into compliments and then jumping into your own content and self-promoting in someone's channel that you don't know and they don't know you, that is the biggest red flag. So for anybody out there that does this, stop it. Just hit the brakes. Don't do that. The proper way to get your content out there, to self-promote in a constructive way, in a positive way, is to just join the community first. Join the community. And what I mean by that, compliments are okay, but just be normal. Just be friendly, Hang out in a stream or two with that streamer. Or if it's not a streamer, if it's a YouTuber, hang out in their comment sections, comment on multiple videos, just saying like, love the video, man, can't wait for the next one. That's all you got to do. Just be a part of that community in some way, shape, or form for a little while. I would say at least a week. And I know a lot of you guys are very impatient. I was too, I get it, but you got to do this. Just hang out in there for at least a week. Just be friendly, and who knows? Maybe you'll make friends with someone along the way. You'll make some friends in the community. You might even become friends with the content creator themselves. Who knows? But as long as you make yourself apparent that you are not there just to use people for views or to leech off the success of someone else, you will get that viewership you've always wanted as long as it's natural. So self-promoting, I think, is genuinely fine. That's why we have a self-promoting section in both the TMF Discord and my own personal Discord. And that's not because I'm against self-promoting, but it's just that there's proper ways to go about it. If, for instance, if somebody comes into my Discord and immediately all they do is self-promote in the main channel, I'm going to first think of them very negatively, and second of all, probably ban them because it's just not right, and it is technically against the rules. But that aside, let's say it's not a rule, and people just start self-promoting right away, I'm never going to go out of my way to check that channel. Now, if somebody comes into the Discord, I don't even know that they're a streamer, I don't know if they're a YouTuber or whatever, and they're just really chill, they're funny, posting memes, hanging out for a couple days, and then all of a sudden they post in the self-promotion channel of their stream, you better believe I'm going to fucking go check it out. I'm going to hang out in that stream, and I'm going to support them because I learned that they are a real human being and a nice person before finding out that they're a streamer or a YouTuber or whatever. So that's the biggest one, is just don't be overly friendly. Don't just jump into self-promoting yourself, because that is the worst and most negative way to go around it. You are going to make enemies. You are not going to make friends. And of course, if you are a content creator yourself and you're in my shoes, just learn to set boundaries. You know, I've learned that over the years from my mistakes, and I want to teach that to you guys as well. If you see these red flags that I've talked about, learn to put your foot down. I know you might be scared of coming across like an asshole. I'm always scared myself when I have to ban people or time people out or just tell people off. I hate doing it, but sometimes you need to do it. You need to put your foot down. You need to control your community, because if you don't, you just let everybody do what they want, it's just going to become a toxic cesspool. Everybody's going to be angry. Nobody's going to be having a good time. It's just going to be negative all the way around. And, you know, I know some people kind of thrive off negative energy. They think any attention is good attention. I don't believe in that personally, but I'm not going to judge somebody who wants to get views just for doing whatever, I guess. I'm not going to support that personally, but, you know, you do you, man. It's your community. But if you're trying to make a positive community, if you're trying to make a positive footprint in the content creation space, that is my number one advice, is just learn to put your foot down, make sure you're setting boundaries, and put those people in their place as soon as possible. Do not let it drag out, and don't let it fester. Don't let them get away with it. Just put your foot down ASAP. And the last little part I wanted to talk about in this video before we get to the end here is that if you are a content creator yourself, make sure you are making content that you personally enjoy. If you can't sit down and watch your own video that you've uploaded, or you can't watch your own VOD of a stream you did 3 hours ago, that's a problem. It really is. You have to be able to enjoy your own content, and if you can't, then why the hell would anybody else? That is the number one bit of advice that I can give, and I will always support for anybody who's trying to make it out there in the content creation space. It is a dog-eat-dog world, and it's very difficult to find people who are genuine and do want to see you succeed, but when you do, you will know. They will out themselves in a very positive and good way. So just stop making the really slop content just to get views and to hopefully make money and get famous, such as reaction content is absolute just garbage. I've never understood why people enjoy that and support it, but it is what it is, and I sadly don't think it'll ever be going away. But just don't be the next version of that. Just let it die. Stop the reaction content. Stop doing video essays on topics that have already been beaten to death. You know, that's kind of the whole reason I made my joke video of the fake retrospective on Twisted Metal, because I genuinely thought that'd be funny. And sadly, people actually believed it, that it was a legit video. So I guess my meme sort of failed. But needless to say, just stop with the slop content. Make content that you're proud of, that you enjoy. And as long as you do that, you will gain an audience and people will show. If you build it, they will come, so to speak. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching the video. I know this is a lot different than my normal content, but yeah, if you want to see more stuff like this, just random commentary with some gameplay in the background, let me know in the comment section below, and I will keep that in mind for future uploads. So yeah, see you later, everybody. Peace.